Welcome back, everyone. We have an update from China Dongsheng International Inc. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol CDSG, and through its wholly owned subsidiary, Titan Lithium Inc. is a lithium explorer and developer with operations in Nevada, USA, and the United Republic of Tanzania. Please welcome its chairman, Harp Sangha. Nice to see you, Harp.
Well, thank you for having me, Anna. I know everybody's gotten used to seeing Craig at your conferences, but we'll switch things up a bit today.
It's okay. Yeah, take it away, and then we'll come back with questions whenever you're ready. Just call me back.
All right. So the purpose of this conference, I think, from my perspective, is to give an update to our shareholders on a number of corporate actions the company has embarked on. And also give an update on the status of licenses, specifically the prospecting licenses in Tanzania. I would like all the shareholders to know that the Titan 1, Titan 2 prospecting licenses were granted in late April. The annual dues have also been paid for. So that means they're in good standing for the next 12 months. What we're waiting on now with those two prospecting licenses is an acknowledgement from the Ministry of Mines that they've received the funds and that they'll issue then a new prospecting license in the name of Kilimanjaro Lithium, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of China Dongsheng. Timing on that could be any day, but I don't expect it to drag on much further than the end of the month. And the second point I was going to make was regarding our name change and becoming SEC reporting. We were informed by our legal counsel, Jeff Turner, who's handling the Form 10 and the writing of it, as well as the submission of it to the SEC, that we're going to need those licenses in the name of Kilimanjaro Lithium with an acknowledgement that they've been paid so that there's proof that we actually own them. And so the moment we get those, he'll submit the Form 10. And along with it, Craig Alford, the CEO, who most of you know, is a qualified person under Canadian 43-101 standards, but the SEC has a different bar, and it's called the SK 1300 report, similar to the 43-101, but it's just a format that the SEC accepts. We'll have that technical report completed by week's end, and it'll be ready to go as soon as we get those prospecting licenses. They've already been granted. We just need the acknowledgement from the Ministry of Mines that they've been paid for. And that payment period is for 1 year. The cost for both licenses was $100 per square kilometer, so it was approximately $36,000. Concurrent with the filing of the Form 10, which I expect, by the end of the month, maybe earlier, the corporate counsel will also inform FINRA that we have submitted a Form 10 to the SEC, and hopefully that can get them moving on the name change application from China Dongsheng International to Titan Lithium Inc. We've submitted 3 different ticker symbols. I'm not sure which one we'll end up with, but whatever one it is, I'm sure it'll serve our purposes fine. The question I'm sure everybody has on their mind is, once the Form 10 is submitted, what's the timing of that? And for this call, I had a call prior or earlier this morning with legal counsel, and best case, from the date of submission, he believes best case 30 days will be effective. Worst case, it's 60 days. So take your pick. I don't know what the answer is, obviously, to that, but best case is 30 days, which means, say the first week of July. Worst case, first week or late July. And I think that'll help just to clarify what the company's business is. I'm not sure China Dongsheng really reflects what we do as an organization. And you're all aware of how big we think this resource could possibly be. And I think Titan will be a pretty good name for that. I don't think I've missed much more out of that. I'm not sure I took up my 10 minutes, Anna, but I hope I didn't talk too fast. But those were the points I wanted to address. And I think if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great job. Yeah, we do have a few questions for you with our time. Randy W. wants to know, when do you think your 331 filing will be posted?
By Friday.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And Douglas,
our CFO had some health issues, and just for her privacy, I'm not going to go into what they were, but basically it was pretty serious. But
okay.
She's back at work, and I think by Friday is probably a good estimate, maybe tomorrow.
Okay, good. I hope she's better. Douglas Finkenstein asks, what date can we expect an official 43101 report by? What's the cash runway left for the company? And how will new funds be raised?
Okay, so the first part of that was, there were three parts. Can you just repeat them one at a time?
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the 43101, that report. When can
Yeah, so being listed in the United States, we don't need a 43101, but we eventually will do one. For the time being, the SK 1300 suffices for the SEC's purposes. The 43101, to have a real impact, we could do a 43101 right now, which would be identical to the SK 1300 report. It would have all of our soil sampling results, proof of ownership, some historical data, but it's not going to have drilling data. And that's really, we've got some juicy targets here based on the surface sample results, and they'll only get better as we go to depth. So I would say a reasonable time frame where we could start, not completing, but have a report done, I would say, is after some drilling is done, and we could have a meaningful resource then outlined in that report. And I would say towards the end of the year.
Great. And can you talk about the cash runway left for the company, and how will new funds be raised?
Well, the cash runway is the bank of Craig Alford and Harp Sangha for the time being. Being an alternative reporting company, one of the difficulties with any institutional investor or high net worth individuals is, as it is currently, if we take in any money in the form of a private placement, it's got a 2-year hold period. And that tends to scare off a lot of potential investors, and a number of them have just bought stock in the open market. Post being SEC mandatory filer or SEC compliant, whatever word you want to use, then we can rely on 144, and there's only a 6-month hold for potential investors. So, our burn rate currently is about 100,000 a month, 75,000, but let's just say 75 to 100. And management will keep funding the company to get us to that stage where we are SEC compliant. And in fact, I'll tell you a quick story. One of my fund manager friends in Toronto, because we're alternative reporting, he said, I'd love to buy stock in the fund, but I'd probably lose my job because you're not SEC reporting. So that's just another one of the difficulties we're dealing with. And so, and the third part of the question?
How will the new funds be raised?
Oh, it would be in the form of equity.
Okay.
Hopefully it's at a substantially higher price if the markets cooperate, and we keep getting better and better results.
And last question.
There's no reason to think we're not going to. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. Nope, no problem. Sorry. Intersecting. Last question, just due to time. Reed Newstrom wants to know, what's the potential value of Titan Lithium for the future, and is a JV partnership possible?
Well, I'm not sure Craig ever mentioned on any of his calls, but we're certainly getting unsolicited emails and phone calls from medium-sized lithium miners, large-sized ones, and we've signed non-disclosure agreements with them. And as the due diligence progresses, there'll be some news on that. Because of the non-disclosure agreements, we can't really discuss that.
We understand. Well, thank you for your time and this great update, and we'd love to have you back in the future with some more.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you, Harp.
You're welcome.
Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with Single Point.